good blessings, my brothers and sisters in this truth. All praises to the Most High. Through our Savior's name, let's get our sword out the mud. Brothers and sisters, let's get into the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23. Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law a light. Reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of a seductress. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor let her allure you with her eyelids. For by means of a harlot a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. Can a man take fire to his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one walk on hot coals, and his feet not be seared? So is he who goes into his neighbor's wife. Whoever touches her shall not be innocent. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy himself when he is starving. Yet, when he is found, he must restore sevenfold. He may have to give up all the substance of his house. Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He who does so destroys his own soul. Wounds and dishonor he will get, and his reproach will not be wiped away. For jealousy is a husband's fury. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will accept no recompense, nor will he be appeased, though you give many gifts. My son, keep my words and treasure my commands within you. Keep my commands and live, and my law as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. So, my brothers and sisters, we must keep the commands of the Most High in our mind and in our hand. The wicked ones keep the law of the world in their mind and in their hands. Get back to this read. Verse 4. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your nearest kin, that they may keep you from the immoral woman, from the seductress who flatters with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through my lattice and saw among the simple. I perceived among the youths a young man devoid of understanding, passing along the street near her corner, and he took the path to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And there a woman met him with the attire of a harlot and a crafty heart. She was loud and rebellious. Her feet would not stay at home. At times she was outside, at times in the open square, lurking at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him with an impudent face. She said to him, I have peace offerings with me. Today I have paid my vows. So I come out to meet you diligently to seek your face. And I have found you. I have spread my bed with tapestry, colored coverings of Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love, for my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him and will come home on the appointed day. With her enticing speech, she caused him to yield. With her flattering lips, she seduced him. Immediately he went after her, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. Till an arrow struck his liver, and a bird hastened to the snare. He did not know it would cost his life. Now therefore listen to me, my children. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths. For she has cast down many wounded, and all who were slain by her were strong men. Her house is the way to hell, descending to the chambers of death. It's a lot of brothers and sisters that are lacking understanding because the world suppresses the truth. Don't go running down the broad way. The broad way. Seek the Most High. Do His will, my brothers and sisters. We pleasure the flesh and lean on our own understanding. That is out of order. The child does not come first. The woman does not come first. The Most High comes first. That is why it's turmoil in the community. Sisters, if you are not married, the Most High comes first, not a man. My brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters. And sisters, if you are married to a man that is leaning on his own understanding, and not the way of the Most High. You must not be out of order. You must still follow the commands of the Most High. Serve the Most High. And by doing that, you might win him over. My brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters. We're going to stay in Proverbs and go to chapter 9, verse 13. The book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing. We're going to stay in the book of Proverbs. Chapter 12, verse 4. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. My brothers and sisters. Let's go to 14 in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands. My brothers and sisters. Let's go to, we're still in Proverbs. Matter of fact, we're gonna all these we're gonna just do all of these chapters and verses is gonna be in Proverbs, my brothers and sisters. Chapter 18, verse 1. Chapter 18, verse 1. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. Run that back. Chapter 18, verse 1. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all the wise judgment. A fool has no delight in understanding, but in expressing his own heart. When the wicked comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes reproach. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The wellspring of wisdom is a flowing brook. It is not good to show partiality to the wicked, or to overthrow the righteous in judgment. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for blows. I'm gonna run that back. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for blows. You asked for it, so you got it. I'm gonna run that back. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for blows. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The words of a talebearer are like tasty trifles, and they go down into the inmost body. He who is slothful in his work is a brother to him who is a great destroyer. We'll run that back. He is slothful in his work is a brother to him who is a great destroyer. The name of the Most High is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. And like a high wall in his own esteem, before destruction the heart of a man is haughty, and before honor is humility. He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of a man will sustain him in sickness. But who can bear a broken spirit? The heart of a prudent acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gifts make room for him and brings him before great men. The first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. We'll run that back. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. The first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him. Casting lots causes contentions to cease and keeps the mighty apart. A brother offended is harder to win than a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a castle. A man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruit of his mouth, from the produce of his lips he shall be filled. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and attains favor from the Most High. The poor man uses entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. My brothers and sisters, let's go to chapter 19, verse 13 through 14. A foolish son is the ruin of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. Run that back. Chapter 19, verse 13. A foolish son is the ruin of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. Houses and riches are an inheritance from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Most High. My brothers and sisters, let's go to chapter 21, verse 9. Better to dwell in a corner of a housetop than in a house shared with a contentious woman. We'll run that back. Better to dwell in a corner of a housetop than in a house shared with a contentious woman. We're going to stay in chapter 21 and go to 19. Better to dwell in the wilderness than a contentious and angry woman. I'm going to run that back. Better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. Let's go to chapter 26, verse 20. Chapter 26, verse 20. Where there is no wood, the fire goes out. And where there is no talebearer, strife ceases. My brothers and sisters. Let's go to chapter 31, verse 3. 31, verse 3. Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroy kings. My brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters. I'm going to run that back. Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroy kings. My brothers and sisters. Then we're going to jump down. We're still in chapter 31, 10 through 12. Chapter 31, verse 10 through 12. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. So my brothers and sisters, one more, chapter 31, verse 30. No, you know what? We're going to do chapter 31, verse 25. Chapter 31, verse 25. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Most High, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So my brothers and sisters, we must always lean on the Most High, not our own understanding. My brothers and sisters. Deceit brings destruction. Destruction, my brothers and sisters. In Proverbs chapter 6, verse 34 through 35. For jealousy is a husband's fury, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. So you heard, hey, if any unfaithfulness goes on in the household, it causes destruction. You hear a man say, hey, I'm going to go and kill him and her if I find unfaithfulness in the household. causes destruction, my brothers and sisters. Unfaithfulness causes destruction. Same thing with the woman. You hear the same thing with the woman. You know, a woman will do the same thing if she finds unfaithfulness in the household. So, brothers and sisters, I love you. Do the Most High's will. Do not serve the flesh. It is the way to destruction. Stay prayerful and keep your lamps filled with light.